just like that, it's time to go see Elio. Ooh, well, I just came out of the theater from watching Pixar's new movie, Elio, where we follow an 11-year-old boy named, well, Elio, a space fanatic with an active imagination, finds himself on a cosmic misadventure where he must form new bonds with alien life forms, navigate a crisis of intergalactic proportions, and somehow discover who he's truly meant to be. So yes, please leave your thoughts down below. What did you think about Elio? If you have seen the movie, please like and subscribe, and well, let's jump into the review. So I love Pixar, and I think their films resonate with me a lot. A lot of their movies have taught me great messages about life and the meaning of it and all kinds of different and great messages, but in recent years, Pixar, the name of Pixar, it just seems like a name that doesn't mean anything to people anymore. It's really unfortunate because they've made such fantastic movies, and now when you see a Pixar film, people just assume, oh, it's gonna flop, oh, it's gonna bomb, and people just genuinely care about the sequels, but when there's a new original, their name just doesn't matter. People don't care anymore, and it's really sad to see. And this movie went through hell during production. I mean, look at the original version of the movie to the new one. The movie looks completely different. And the fact that they delayed the movie 15 months, I'm like, dang, this movie is not, the production is not going well, which made me a bit worried, but still excited for the movie. And also the box office tracking was just not good, further showing my example of how Pixar's name can't really help the box office anymore, unless it's a sequel. And well, I just came out of it just a couple of minutes ago, and I will say Elio is an enjoyable time, but it's not Pixar's best. I do think most people will come out satisfied or happy with Elio because I think it's a fun and highly enjoyable movie, but in terms of Pixar, this movie could have been way better. Not a bad movie, I'll say. It's actually great, but there are some flaws that are holding it back. The thing that I like the most about this movie is the animation. If you look at the original version of the movie that we were supposed to get in March of 2024, it's dull, bland, and it felt like a lot of the colors were more muted, and the cinematography made a lot of the shots feel super flat. But the fact that they changed the aspect ratio of the movie, it makes all the shots way more cinematic and dynamic in a way. Everything just has a large scope to it. Given this is a movie that is sci-fi in space, scope and scale is very important at making a movie feel exhilarating for this genre. And the art style, I would say, is a lot like Soul in a way. Pixar has done this kind of art style before. What I'm talking about here is, in the real world, a lot of things are more muted. All the character designs, even to the aliens and the humans, they're all round. Everything has a rounded edge and nothing has a sharp point to it. The humans have more down-to-earth movements and everything looks a lot more realistic. But then, when you go to the Communiverse, the colors get a huge boost. The animation gets a bit more cartoonier, even with Elio's character at times, and the Communiverse heavily implies shapes and colors for all of the designs of the creatures and the world, where everything just doesn't make sense and you just roll with it because you know this is a fantasy world and an animated movie, so they can go all out if they wanted to with this, and they do, and it's the best aspect about the film. Everything has just so much detail to it, to all the aliens, all the creatures. Everyone has such a unique design for everyone. I'll even say probably my favorite design is probably Glorden right here. The caterpillar, weird looking faceless creature. He has probably the most iconic and best design of the movie. It really feels like Pixar went all out in terms of the world building for this movie. And that's something Pixar always does great with their movies, is world building. Whether you're talking about Toy Story, Soul, Coco, any of their movies, this is very similar to their other films where they have these large worlds that are huge and wondrous that you just love to explore. I love the Communiverse in the movie. And another thing that I thought was very strong about the movie is the heart of the film. I don't think this is Pixar's strongest in terms of their most emotional movies, because they have other films that can make you bawl and cry even more. But in terms of this one, the whole plot of the movie and why Elio even wants to get abducted by these aliens is because his parents just died. He wants to leave this planet, Earth, that took away his only family, and the only family that he feels like that wanted him. Him and his aunt get into fights in the movie, and Elio's like, "You're not my my family, or you don't even want me anymore. And it's like, damn, it's actually really sad. And the opening scene, you just see this kid getting bullied. You see well, you don't see his parents die, but they do give you context about that. And you see that he's just so alone in this world that you can actually that Elio is actually a very relatable character. He's someone that you can easily relate to because we've all been bullied, we've all been alone at times, and we've all had fights with our family before. It's all real emotions and very relatable, which is something Pixar always knocks out of the park. I did love Elio and Olga's relationship, even though if they didn't have a lot of screen time together in the movie, their heart-to-heart that they have towards the third act of the film, I thought was one of the best parts about the movie, and I loved it. But I think not the standout of the movie, but the standout character is Glorden. He is such a funny and cute character. This is the character I'm talking about right here, Glorden. Yeah, he's Elio's little best friend, and it's so happy to see Elio, a kid that got bullied, his parents died, and he's feeling like no one really wants him, seeing him have this best friend in the form of an alien. And I love seeing their friendship and their bond, and that whole that clip that we saw like about a week ago, that montage of them going to different places, that was a lot of fun to see their friendship really grow. And that's where I thought the film got better and better until the third act. I know some people said the third act was good, but if I really have to move into the negatives of this movie, for one, I hated the way Lord Grigon was done in this film. His story not only felt heavily rushed in the movie, but it felt like the creators didn't even know what to do with him. It felt like he had a conflict that he wanted with the Communiverse, but his conflict was explained so fast that I kind of forgot what his motive even was. In the original version of the movie, it didn't seem like he was going to be a villain. It didn't seem like the film was at all going to have its own traditional villain, and it just seemed like he was just one of the many aliens of the Communiverse, and now he wants to be a part of it from what I remember. But even then, again, his motive is very forgettable. And the conflict between Elio and what he gets with Lord Grigon is solved so quickly, and that's also a huge issue with this film too. It feels like things are just being rushed, like the Communiverse. I felt like they rushed too much of that world building, and also with Lord Grigon, I felt like his whole motive and why he wanted to be a part of the Communiverse was barely explored at all, and all the conflicts that Elio gets into in this movie get solved pretty easily, which makes the movie feel pretty rushed. And you can clearly tell where they heavily changed some parts of the film, because I feel like with the story, there's not really a structure. Yeah, you have the first act where you have Elio and seeing his life and seeing the real world, and then slowly seeing him get abducted by these aliens. But then when you get to the Communiverse, there's really not a structure until the later half of the movie when Grigon appears. He is a terrifying figure, and Brad Garrett does a great job as the character, but I just think the way they utilized him was not great in the film, and they could have done better. And another issue I have with this film too is all the alien characters. What I'm talking about is like the characters right here, like Questa, Helix, Tegman, all of them. They serve really no purpose. The only one that really serves much of a purpose is Questa, because she has mind-reading powers, which that kind of helps her learn some things about Elio, but even then, they just feel like useless characters that feel more like filler or context to the Communiverse, and also them being leaders of their own planets felt useless. I'm like, damn, we really didn't explore any of the planets in this universe. We just showed, oh yeah, these aliens are the leaders of their own planets, and the movie just kind of forgot about that. It made Elio being the leader of Earth less special. Even though he lied, it felt like the whole concept of leaders of their own planets was not that great in the film, and I wish they kind of explored that a lot more. And one final complaint, I don't hate this movie by the way, but for major Pixar fans that are just looking for a great film from the studio, you're not going to get like a bad movie, no, you're going to still get an enjoyable and great movie, but you're going to want something a bit better. As of for me, I still think Elio is a highly enjoyable and wonderful time at the movies. Go see it please, because it's original, and more original movies need to have the recognition. And when you see the movie, there is an end credit and a post-credit scene, and I say you should stay for probably the mid one, but the post-credit scene's already been online, and even then, it's really disappointing, and it's not even for Elio, is all that I'll say for now. So on my rating system, I'm going to put it in the go see it category. It's not peak, it's not bad or anything, it's the go see it, which means it's still great. And in terms of my full ranking, I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's not Pixar's best, and it definitely is a bit lower on my list, but that also just shows you that even a Pixar film that is lower is still great, which just shows how fantastic the studio is. Just this movie could have been just slightly better if they fixed some of the issues. Well, what do you guys think about Elio? Are you planning to check out this movie this week? Please let me know all down below. And yeah, do you think this is Pixar's best movie in a while, or are you kind of indifferent on the movie?